All right, it's Hayden, right? Or to Jacob, I'm sorry. Jacob, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you could, if you don't mind, just recapping the game, open it up with a brief statement, and then we'll have questions for you.
All right. Good to go. Okay, so both pitchers pitched really well today. Our starter, Cody Adcock, pitched really well, just gave up the one home run in the first inning, and besides that, he was pretty much perfect. Their pitcher did really good. They took him out before he even gave up a run, and their uh, relievers were walking us, and we ended up scoring two to tie it, and then the next inning they just punched back and scored again, and both pitchers, our reliever and their reliever didn't let up any more runs, and it just ended 3-2.
All right, thanks, Jacob. First question comes from Nick.
Jacob, what do you guys feel like you have to do to kind of carry some of the things you did well here into next week and beyond?
I think we just need to keep playing with the same energy we had all week. I think personally that we played way different than we have been playing. We were playing with a different vibe, like just more excited to play, more on the line. It was a lot more fun too.
What do you think caused that?
I think starting off with the elimination game really sparked that flame because we wanted to win this tournament. Sadly, we lost this game, but we wanted to win every single game. We didn't want to lose.
Chris is next.
Chris Muller, the Rebel Walk. Jacob, can you comment a little bit about the pitching that we've seen this week? It seemed to be really outstanding, especially from some of the guys that haven't got the opportunity to pitch as much during the regular season.
Yeah, all of our pitchers were locked in this week, pitching with confidence, and they weren't letting any of the outcomes affect their outcome for pitching, and they were just pitching how they've always pitched their whole lives.
Thank you.
Got Parrish next.
Jacob, we saw the pitching in this tournament from Ole Miss, but you guys collectively didn't hit as well as we've seen you hit in some other games. What was your take on the hitting here in Hoover this week?
I think this week we got a little, we got more of the timely hits that helped us win the games. We wish to have gotten more of those in this game when we had the bases loaded, one out, and just didn't score another run. But I think I don't know. We had the good time of the hitting, and sometimes it wasn't as good.
Thanks.
I think we got Chris again.
Jacob, with regionals coming up next weekend at Swayze, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm most looking forward to playing at home and playing with the same stakes on the line of win or go home, and that's what you want to play for. And yeah.
Do you have any more questions for Jacob? Hey, Jacob, I think we got them all. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Hayden, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, if you could just give us a brief statement, recap the game, and then we'll have questions for you.
First off, the pitchers were really good. It was a pitching duel between both teams, and Adcock did really good. Just gave up the home run in the first inning, but after that he competed, did everything he could to give us a chance to win. So did all the other pitchers. They competed their butts off, and their pitchers competed too, and they got some big hits. We got some big hits, but they got one more big hit than us. But that's pretty much how the game went today.
First question comes from Chris.
Hayden, talk a little bit about the pop out that you ended up in the Arkansas dugout with.
Just trying to make a play for my team. Didn't realize I was gonna end up flipping over. Actually, I thought I was gonna be able to hold on, but I realized I was running a little bit more fast than I thought, so just ended up going over. I think one of the coaches grabbed my leg, so I didn't hit the ground so hard. But just trying to make a play.
Thank you.
Parrish is next.
Hey, Hayden, after the 12 hits you guys got against Auburn the first night, we didn't see that that hit total, that kind of offense we've seen from you guys a lot. What was your assessment of hitting for the week of the team here in Hoover?
Oh man, every pitcher we saw was one of the best in the country. We faced Leiter and all those other guys, and they were just. I mean, this SEC, the pitching is crazy tough. Seems like everybody throws 95 to 98 with 4 pitches and can locate anywhere. So, just got to take it day by day and do as much as you can one by one at the plate.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? Chris, Parrish, you guys are good?
I got one more if I could.
Great.
Hayden, can you talk a little bit more about the pitching staff as a whole? It seemed like they were really super dominant all weekend. Obviously minimized a lot of runs. So just talk about it from your angle from behind the plate.
Yeah, definitely catching this weekend. Sometimes earlier, not all the time, but just sometimes other teams would get big hits. But this week it seemed like every time there was a big situation, our pitchers made the big pitch. They would execute their extra slider down and away in the dirt, and the guy would swing at it. They would just compete and execute as best they could, and I think that was the biggest difference.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Hayden? Hey, thank you, sir. I think we got them all. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Coach, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
All right. If you could just give us a recap of the game, and then we'll have questions for you.
Yeah, just one of those games where offense runs were at a premium today, and I think for both teams, wind was blowing in pretty strong from left field, knocked some balls down, and I thought both staffs pitched really well. So it came down to a homer by them in the first by Smith. And then, a chance where I think it was a walk, a fielder's choice, and then, a base hit to left that ends up scoring the winning run. So one of those days where we had a couple opportunities where if we would have hit one in the gap, maybe it would have been different. But, credit them, they're so good and pitched it really well, played really good defense. And just proud of our guys. We had a good week here. It's disappointing to end, but, I thought we learned a little more about ourselves, and I think we got a little bit better, especially on the mound. So that was good.
First question comes from John.
Hey, Mike, John Sokoloff, WCBI. You mentioned that you were pleased with what you saw on the mound this whole week. You guys only allowed, I think it was 13 runs in 5 games. We've mentioned all week how impressive the pitching staff's been, but what impressed you the most about this group collectively as a whole and also today?
I think, a couple things that stand out. One, what Hayden said, I think is exactly right. We preach all the time, sometimes the biggest difference between a good pitcher and a great pitcher, or a good pitcher and an average pitcher is, the guys that are better are able to make pitches and get off the field. And, our guys were able to do that this week more times than not. The other thing is I thought we really attacked the strike zone. I thought we had a little more attitude to us, on the mound, and I think we were more aggressive in the count early in at bats that helped us a lot. And we're going to need that next week, obviously.
Chris is next.
Chris Miller, the Rebel Walk. Mike, could you talk a little bit about Jacob Gonzalez and just, I know we've talked about it on some other talks, but can you talk a little bit about Jacob and his contribution to the team? He had a really great week at the plate this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Chris, we've talked about it all year long, and he's been sensational. He's been sensational from, day one. I want to say he's started every game. I could be mistaken, but I think he started every game at shortstop. I don't know if that's ever happened, since I've been here. And then for him to swing it offensively, to bat third in our lineup, and, he had a sensational week. I don't think it surprises anybody. He's done that all year long, on the biggest stages, in our league. But he's been sensational.
Thank you.
Nick and Parrish will be next.
Mike, Jacob was telling us about how he felt like the energy was a little bit different, a little bit higher this week. How do you go about carrying that over from Hoover into regionals next week?
Well, that was one of the goals, and what we talked about is, postseason's a little different. I think I talked about it yesterday in the press conference, and I think these guys, enjoyed this experience, and not just, hey, coming to the hotel and the win free and getting to play some good teams, but enjoyed the competition, enjoyed the moments, and to have success, in postseason. I think you got to be loose, you got to be free, and you got to play with a lot of confidence. You got to have a competitive spirit, and so we again challenged the guys at the beginning of the week, to bring that type of energy and that type of vibe and swagger to the field every day, and I think they did.
Is that energy a thing that you've kind of seen common to teams that have succeeded of yours in regionals?
Yeah, and it's not just the energy. It's I think from a fan standpoint, you can see it, and the guys moving around, but it's really more of a vibe in the dugout. It's more of a belief in one another, that guys are going to succeed, at the plate and on the mound and in the field. It's a confidence, and I think that confidence, that belief, as my old mentor used to say, is transferable from one dugout to the other. It makes the other team realize that, hey, we're in trouble today. This team's really good, and they really believe they're gonna win. So I think it's very important.
I think we've got Parrish next.
Mike, you said you learned some things about your team this week. I assume pitching was part of that, but what else did you learn?
Well, certainly I think it starts with pitching. And we needed to be better on the mound. We needed to, from the starting standpoint, McDaniel and Diamond were terrific. Not necessarily from the starting, although he started this week and pitched great yesterday. Tyler Myers, and that'll be a huge piece of the bullpen. Brandon Johnson, I believe, had 3 appearances, this week and pitched well in all of them. And Jack Doherty, I thought was dominant, in the Vandy game. So we're going to need that, and that's one of the things I think that we've lacked, consistency, in that bullpen throughout the year, and that'll bode well for us, next week. I thought, offensively, I heard somebody, it was you, Parrish, I think, right? You asked the question about after the first day, but part of that, comes from facing Little and Leiter, the number 2 and number 3 starters from a very good pitching staff at the University of Georgia. And I thought Bolden pitched really well today at the very beginning. So, you play on a bigger park that's not really conducive to as much offense as, maybe some of the parks in our league. So when you wrap all that up, but, I thought Jacob, swung it well. I think Chatnier's starting to swing it better. Tim, I thought, had a good week. And so Kevin Graham had a really good week, I thought, offensively. So I think we're playing well, and excited about next week.
Hey, John, did you have another question? Hey, Coach, I think we got them all.
All right.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm good. Thanks, though.
Thank you.
We good?
We're good to go. Thanks,
right.
Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.